Let's talk about something called the intelligence curse. Sounds pretty dramatic, right? But it's this really fascinating and frankly kind of uncomfortable idea that having a super powerful brain might actually be the reason you worry so much.
So let me ask you this, straight up. Do you overthink, well, everything? I mean, do you analyze situations from every possible angle until you're just completely exhausted? If that sounds familiar, then you're going to want to stick around because what you've been calling anxiety, well, it might actually be a side effect of your intelligence. To really get what I'm talking about, let's use a simple little story. I call it a tale of two minds and a rock in the road. It's the perfect way to see two totally different ways of processing the exact same problem.
All right, so first up, here comes person A. They're walking along, they see the rock, and they just step over it. Boom. Problem solved. For them, the problem existed for maybe a second, and then it was gone. End of story.
But then we have person B. They see the exact same rock in the road. But their brain doesn't just see an obstacle. Oh no. For person B, this is where the movie begins.
Their mind just explodes with possibilities. It's not a simple, oh, I might trip. It's, what if I trip and break my ankle and miss that huge meeting tomorrow? Then it's, what if a car swerves to avoid it and causes a huge accident? And then, just when you think it's over, their analysis goes completely off the rails. Wait a second. What if that's not even a rock? What if it's a small meteor? I mean, that is overthinking in its purest form.
So if you were just listening to that and thinking, oh my gosh, I am so person B, then congratulations. You're not necessarily just anxious. You might just be experiencing a very common feature of a highly intelligent mind.
So what is actually going on here scientifically? Why does having a higher IQ sometimes feel like a one-way ticket to Worryville? Well, let's take a look at the anatomy of this kind of mind.
It really boils down to having a superpower that also comes with a bit of kryptonite. On one hand, your high IQ brain has this incredible knack for advanced pattern recognition. You see connections and potential outcomes that most people just miss. The downside? That exact same skill can backfire, making you see potential threats and problems absolutely everywhere, even when they aren't real. And on top of that, there's biology at play. Some studies suggest a link between high intelligence and more activity in the brain's worry center, which leads to that nonstop, intense internal dialogue.
Okay, so what does this constant analysis actually feel like on the inside? It's so much more than just a simple worry. It's a whole complex internal experience.
The technical term for this is rumination. You know, it's when your brain gets stuck on a loop, just replaying the same thoughts over and over, and they usually start spiraling into darker and darker places. It's kind of like having a constant director's commentary running for your life, where the director only points out everything that could possibly go wrong.
And that's why this quote just captures it perfectly. It's not a single fleeting thought. It's a full-blown narrative. You create a story complete with characters, plot twists, and multiple very creative, disastrous endings. You don't just worry about having a tough conversation, you write an entire novel in your head about how it's all going to unfold. Okay, so if this is all sounding way too familiar, what can you actually do about it? Because telling a powerful brain to just stop worrying is like telling a race car to just drive slow. It's not going to work. You have to give that engine a real job to do.
And this is the absolute key. You can't suppress this incredible analytical ability. You have to redirect it. Instead of letting your brain invent fictional catastrophes to solve, you need to hand it a real one.
So here's a pretty simple 3-step strategy. First, you have to recognize when you're in the spiral. Just notice it and acknowledge, okay, my brain is writing another disaster novel again. Second, choose a real puzzle, something with clear rules and a defined goal, like a Sudoku puzzle, a crossword, or maybe a coding challenge. And finally, you have to consciously redirect all of that intense analytical energy into solving this new, tangible thing. And why does this work so well? Well, because you're giving your brain's powerful pattern matching ability exactly what it craves, a productive task. You're basically channeling its greatest strength into something useful and contained, which pulls its focus away from creating those fictional disasters.
So I really want you to leave with this thought, this reframe. Your tendency to overthink, to worry in novels, it isn't a flaw, you're not broken, it's a feature. It's the signature of a powerful cognitive engine. It just needs to be aimed in the right direction. Which brings us right back to that big question. Is this powerful brain of yours a gift or a curse? Well, like any powerful tool, I guess the answer really just depends on how you learn to use it.